Welcome back to my YouTube channel, trying to be different, thriving in the best way possible. And this is the year we get out of our comfort zones. And I thought, you know what, I really want to get to know, those conversations we should have had or can have now, that, what were we supposed to do when we were younger, in maybe health, in finance, in fitness, and so on and so forth. And the finance conversation actually starts us off. Today, I am actually privileged. I don't know if the backstory of how we met is important. Maybe not. Hi, Fiza.
Hi, Flavia. How are you doing?
I'm good.
I'm excited to be here.
Oh, thank you. I'll let you do the honors of explaining how you are a billionaire and who you are.
Okay, I'm not a billionaire
In the
yet.
Yeah, thank you, please.
But I'm working definitely on it. My name is Faiza. I'm a radio host and I'm a digital influencer. I'm also an events host. I'm a writer. I bake now professionally. Gamba business.
Proper, and you like selling and...
Yes. It's called the Cupcake Bar.
Just cupcakes?
Yeah. That's what we specialize in. I want it to be unique.
Different.
But yeah, there's a lot of things that I do, but those are the ones that I can strongly tie on and say is that.
Well done. How many streams of income? Was anyone counting? Yeah, she bakes, influencer, radio host.
Events.
No. Hey, you're supposed to have 7 streams of income. So technically you are almost.
I'm there. I'm getting there.
So welcome. I really just wanted to tap into the conversations on different things in life, different wellnesses in life, but where young people are, where the older generation is going. And so for finance, I was just like, okay, I remember what I did in my 20s. I'm not saying she's 21 or 20, but we're not counting. Nobody is counting age here. But what people are doing with their money, and because I'm a mom and a wife, and so the things kind of change with how you make money and what you do with your money. But just to bring in, because a lot of people will be saying okay, now for us, we don't have those many responsibilities, but then we also need to be financially stable. So when is that conversation happening? And I said, okay, I'll bring someone who's maybe not in my tier and we'll explain a few things to you. But so those are 4 streams of income. I know you didn't just sit down and go tomorrow I will do A, B, C, D. Things just kind of happened.
So a lot of them just happened as I went along. When I got into radio, when I got into media, I found myself slowly,
doing other things. Yeah.
And they, now started making money. There are other things that, yes, I've intentionally decided to monetize, like baking. Intentionally decided, said, you know what? I love this thing. I do this all the time.
All the time for other people.
Yes, I'm baking for my family just to tell me if they like the biscuits.
Please.
But I sat down and I said, you know what, it is time to make money out of this, because at the end of the day, when you weigh it out, my salary wasn't taking me throughout the entire month. And I said, good.
I've been in media in this country. I would say,
it can't be me hustling like this.
Not me. So you finished university
last year.
Last year.
Yeah.
Hey, last year.
Yes, pandemic.
COVID. So well done on that. But I'm trying to see where your mindset has been, because now you're like, I'm trying to monetize, I'm trying to make money. But that probably wasn't your mindset.
Yes.
When you're at university, you're thinking chop money, blast ball, but also where is money coming from at that point?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So one, when I just joined university, it was my mom and me paying for my tuition. Okay, so the money I was...
You were working?
Yes. I started working at a pretty young age in my teenagers, but of course not working to make money. When you start, especially you get into a field that you really love, like media, and you love TV and you love radio, and you wanted always to be in these spaces. So you go work for production houses here and there, do some coordination for them. And you're just getting there because you want to learn everything. You're excited. Absolutely. So it doesn't matter how much they tell you they are paying you. You're going
20,000. It's okay.
It's okay. This is the money.
Opportunity. We kind of look at them as opportunities.
I'm excited to just be in the space and get to see what other people do, how they've made it out.
But I assume you're not contributing 80% of the tuition at that rate.
Yes, that's not true. I wasn't. My parents were doing the most, of course. Yeah. So the money I was making, all of it was just to either spend on myself, have fun and buy myself that nice sneaker I've always looked at. That was my life. That's what I wanted to do. But of course, as I went along, it had to change, especially when now you stop looking at media as something you've always just wanted to be in, but you start looking at it as a job. Because eventually it hits you that, man, this is not just fun. This is actually real.
And were you looking at the last year in university and saying, I'm about to leave campus, I won't have the cushion of we're having a good time? This is when I look at it as a job, or even before the last year of campus?
I think it was in my second year that I actually did start looking at it as a job, okay? Because then, you know, I'll be honest, being that I was working and I was in campus at the same time, I was stuck in two different kinds of people. I was hanging out with people my age mates, and also,
who don't care.
Yes, then I was also hanging out with people who are like have their money now. They have been working, they have responsibilities. So you find yourself that when you're hanging out with your friends, for them it's all about having fun, and the money where they will take you to spend it is say, some average place you don't have to. But then when you're hanging out with other people, you're also trying to fit in. Like you want them to see you that
the one plate, the price is like, hey, this can feed 3 of us at campus.
So you also try to fit in this side, and you find that now, you're trying to keep up, but keeping up is also becoming hard. All right? And you're also trying to buy these things. You're also trying to see where you're heading here. So then you eventually sit down and say, man, let me actually start looking at this as a job. Okay, this is no longer just fun. I'm not just getting on set. I'm not just being called by these companies to come and do this. And it's fun that I'm just being excited that I'm on these people, you know, like I'm working with so and so. You start saying that, you know what, this is actually, to them, these are clients. They look at you as, you know, as contributing to their jobs or to their work. So it's time that you actually start demanding some serious things, making some serious changes. So I think it was around my second year, really.
Wow, you started early. Others left campus, and that's when the thought came in. So you were lucky enough to do at the time what you are doing now, what you wanted to do. How did that fall on your laps, though?
So how I got into media is interesting. You know, I've always been the type of person who loves to read. So I used to, at around I think the age of 9, 10, I loved reading novels, reading newspapers. So you find your way that you at your age you're reading these things, you enjoy reading them. From there, I started writing. I would write short stories. So when I got into high school, I was writing short stories. I got into the writers' club. I was writing short stories, and sort of got into some of those national competitions, you know, regional competitions. And writing made me find my way into media, you know, because you once you read, you visualize. And from visualizing, you now want to actually see how they make these things happen. So writing made me find slowly my way into the media world.
Now second year, you're starting to say this is a job. I need to monetize. And of course, your reasons at the time, I always tell people at campus, no one is saying, I need to buy land, I need to buy a house, I need to do this thing.
I need to keep up, man.
Everyone is like, man, the level of life I want and the money I'm making, that's so far the motivation, which I guess was yours as well. I need to be able to afford myself.
The lifestyle I want.
Because also your friends are not thinking in, you know, big mansions and cars. And, maybe a car by that campus, probably wanting cars.
Yes, but that's also because you don't just want it because you want to move from point A to point B.
No.
You want it because you want to fit it into a certain...
Yes. Okay, so when do you then start good financial decisions or choices? When you start to say that I earn X amount of money, oh, now let me be smart, let me put away this and only eat this.
Let me be honest, you guys, that was last year.
So what were you doing?
So people were waiting for me to say money in campus.
You would earn and say, eat as you earn.
Yes, that was actually last year.
Eat as you earn.
Last year is when I said, I think the pandemic really woke me up. Let me be honest, guys. You know, I happen to be one of those lucky people because in media we stayed working. Even though
we're essential workers.
Yes, even though our salaries were cut, but we stayed working. Okay? And because the entire economy was more or less shut down, you were not spending as usual.
You would be an odd man out if you were trying to buy anything.
So you have money that is now on the account. It is there. So what is this money for now? It's there. It's just lying there. So
the pandemic served for you, man.
There's some things that really, you know, the pandemic is actually when I moved out even in my mom's house. You know, even when you have
you were not even saving when you were rent free.
I won't lie to you guys. Like I want to be honest to people. Like. I'm
like, at least save the rent. What would be rent?
I certainly didn't have it all together. But now the pandemic, money was accumulating slowly on the account. You're not spending it as usual you do.
The clubs are closed.
You're no longer shopping as you usually do. You're no longer having fun, taking yourself out as you usually do. You're now getting to work and you're being driven and taken back home. You're not even spending on transport. So money is accumulating. The only thing I was doing during that time, I think I was spending money on was baking, maybe cooking. I'll buy things, cook for my family, ask them, is it
and mom in the pandemic, we all became chefs, bakers, what?
Yes.
But you had been doing it a bit.
Yes, I was already doing it before, but now you have that actual time to really, really invest and think about it properly. So while the money was accumulating on my account, I now sit down and say, okay, so what do I do now? I think the first thing, like any other young person, independence clicks in. You're like, I want to move out.
I want to move out, get my own car place, put nice things in the house.
Yes, I moved out. And once independence kicks on, responsibilities also start kicking in.
Yes.
You know you've paid like your first 3 months of rent. Now the first 3 months you move by slowly. You're like, it's okay now.
But you know they go by quickly.
I'm enjoying my independence, I have my own place. Then you actually realize there are bills to be paid. There's rent, there's water, there's electricity. And now it's no longer your parents doing that for you. You now have to start
Or you go to your parents and eat and then come back and sleep. So you don't spend on food.
Okay,
I know someone who does.
I do it. I do it. My mom stays right like about maybe like what 10 minutes away from me. So
you say me buy food.
But by the very fact that now I was paying some bills, it really started waking me up that wait, this is serious now. And aside from that, where are you heading? I mean, it's not just you working and enjoying what you're doing, but where are you heading with this? Okay, are you just working radio? Do you want to be there for 10 years? Where are you heading with this?
And because you say most of us have that thing of we're with our parents and we transition. I don't remember a financial conversation with my mom. I remember the whole thing of don't waste your money.
Yes.
But that's just a statement. It's not sitting you down and saying, now, this is the best thing to do. Independence means this. Having money means this. I don't remember that conversation. I just remember, I hope you're not wasting your money. So I had to find my own way in getting, financial knowledge.
Yeah.
And you, where do you then get someone tapping you and saying?
Me, first of all, my mom wasn't in there. Don't waste your money. She didn't want me to spend any of it. She just told me, she called my siblings, like, you talk to her. What is she doing? Where does she want to live? She's going
she wanted you to stay home.
She's going to waste that money.
Bless.
And I'm like, really? So when it comes to where did I get my own knowledge, I have to say I've learned it as I go. I wasn't reading that. I'm reading on financial independence.
Or you're in a clique of friends who are saying,
this is how you should spend your money. I have to be honest with you. I've had to sit down with myself and tell myself, okay, how are you going to make more money? And how are you going to spend it better? And that's where even I decided to monetize baking. And I said, okay, you look at the things you do really, and you say now, you need more money than this. So
they always say either save more or start earning more.
So I say, okay, now how can I make more money out of this? Should I start looking for another job, or should I start working with the skills I have? And I said, I have baking, have been doing this for so long, why not monetize it? And that's when I said, some of the money that's still remaining in the account, pay for a school.
Okay.
So again, I pay for a school and I show up for about 2.5 months. I'm studying.
So you had been baking just at home,
for fun, but
then this time you're like, I'll invest. That's actually smart.
Yeah, I'm like, now I want to learn the business itself. How am I going to make money out of it? So I'm not going to lie to people that there's anyone I've been listening to or watching. Maybe you, yes. There are a couple of people that I have been watching on how to manage your finances. But most of the things I've learned as I go along. You just learn.
Because only you know your habits. So I could preach here many, many things, but deep down.
You know how you're spending the money. You know the kind of person you are.
But I'm impressed you even went to learn more. Because, I can say I can cook. Nobody else will tell me I can't cook, and this is what I'm going to be serving. But you figured, if I want to do this on a higher level, I need to then equip myself with skills.
I realized that if you want to cut down on the losses that you're going to make in a business, better to learn it from the professionals, how they have done it. And also, because I taught myself a lot when it comes to baking, even online. But the people you're learning from might be in another country with a different economy, how they deal with. I didn't even know that icing melts here in Kampala because of our sun. Now you actually learn it when you actually go to a class and they're telling you, by the way, this in America looks like this, but here in Kampala, this is how it's going to be.
You're going to deliver a cake to I don't know where.
So when you're delivering it, you have to move like this. So these are all things I knew.
I love. From learning from the school.
Yes, I found that the best way to go about it, and I have to say it was a good decision.
Okay. So you did and finished?
I did and finished. Now I start my business. But I can assure you, even right now, I'm still just learning. Recently, I was talking to my friend Mazan, and I was asking him, do you know any business management course that I can do? Just to manage, to know how now to do the business side. Because, there's people saying, I know how to do the talent bit. But now the managing of the
also, the money will come in and then you'll be stuck.
Thank you. Thank you. You don't know how much money you're actually making. You don't know how much money you're actually spending.
No, or you say this thing needs 200,000, but there is. Yet you're using all your money in the business. Yet there should be a way you manage You know these are the costs of the businesses. So to even determine what is profit, what is the price, how did you determine the prices of your cupcakes?
Now you see that I had to just learn that in school because they taught us a formula on how to come up with the pricing. Okay, now you're doing that as well. You've priced your things, but you haven't probably encountered the other things that you're going to start spending on. You don't know how, you never realize that because you're learning from a bakery, for them they probably buy in bulk and all these things.
Yes.
For you're buying one thing at a time, you're wasting more money. Now that I learned afterwards.
So the ingredients.
I'm like, okay, wait, I'm actually spending way more money than these people are actually spending. Their pricing is slightly different from mine. They are buying in bulk at a lesser cost. These are things I also learned afterwards. Yeah.
Wow. So the business has just Fiza.
It has only me and my sister.
Okay.
I paid for my sister's schooling as well because during the time in the pandemic, she was also home, right? And I said, why don't you also go and study? We can do this together because with the other things that I do, it's going to become hard for me along the way to juggle baking and everything. Yeah. Because your people who are ordering don't want to know that you're on radio in the morning. They don't want to know that you're at an event working. No, they have ordered. They want their things. So I tell my sister, you know what? Let me take you to I pay for your tuition, you also study this thing. So I pay for her as well, and we do this. So now she's also helping. We are two people in the business, and even then we're still learning now the business management side.
Yes.
Because whereas now we've perfected our craft in
the actual cakes, the products.
Yes, where the client is really happy and says, you've done some neat work and we like it. Now I'm actually working on the management. How do I manage this thing? And I know how much money I'm making. Because some days I sit down and I'm like, but wait, this week, how did you, like...
Tulimulosi.
You're like, okay.
And that's not to say you don't have clients. You have people who have bought.
And this is not even funny enough, not just with baking. This is even with influencing. Sometimes I sit down and I say, okay, this client...
I have had clients. That's dangerous.
Like, I'm making this money, but okay. But what did I spend it on? Now, that's the problem. You tracking your money.
So do you have a Fiza personal account and a business account?
You see that?
Hey, we are starting. Oh, you have an account.
I have one account.
Oh no!
I have one.
You have an account.
I have an account. I have one bank account.
So if the influencer gigs pay you,
the money goes into that account.
If the cake, someone buys cake,
then now that money comes to my mobile money. But now even at work when they're paying my salary, it goes to that same account. So the money is there. But now, you if you don't keep track of it.
But okay, so because at the end of the day, yes, it's a personal account. But now for me, what I did the influencing, right? Or my content creation and anything with the clients into a business. So there's an aspect of Flavia that is a business. Registered, by the way, even pays tax.
Yes.
Then there is Flavia who works on radio, TV, whatever, right? So there's a percentage of that I call creative. That percentage I pay to my business. I'm trying to tell you now how we have organized, but of course it came after some time.
Yes.
Yeah. So I say if I work on radio, I'm using creativity, right? So there's a percentage of my salary that is going to me for just being here, but also me for being creative. That percentage to the business, the clients to the business. You come for a consultation to the business account. So I don't actually receive it directly. You pay straight. Even if you pay, because sometimes someone's saying I'm paying Flavia, I'll still give the money to the business because there's a business aspect of Flavia. Do you understand what I mean? So I separate it so that we don't have problems.
I honestly don't want to make people think that for me, I have it all figured out.
And no, because a lot of people are relating to this. A lot of people.
Sometimes you make money and you don't know how.
You even have an account. Others, it stops on mobile money.
The only other maybe account I can say, which is not even an account, it's a circle that I'm in.
Yeah.
And the money.
To pull money every month.
Yes. Yeah? And my salary goes into that circle. So even that decision was made this year. In January.
By you or the company?
By myself. I sat down and I said, because the company circle, I sat down and I actually read carefully about it, and I was like, because you see the problem with influencing money I've discovered along the way is that because you're not paid the way job pays you, that after the end of the month, when you get the gig, they pay immediately, or after maybe a month of you submitting a report, and now when you get that money,
you're like, I forgot.
The plans you even had for it, maybe.
You're like, I forgot. Because what did I say I'd use this money for?
Like how you find money in your pocket after you're washing clothes. Hey, wait, how much is my pay? Let me go and spend.
I understand. No, and listen, I think I was, for a long time, for me when I worked on TV in my earlier years, I keep telling people, Will Smith told his story about how he went broke to zero after years of acting. And then he said, wait, so I've done Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and I'm on zero. Because he would eat as you earn. Wow. Just eat. Then he said, no, I'm a business. I have to start. And that's why he got the rest of the money after Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now, I went through that exact same story. I made money. I was making it. But then I was like, so they're paying me to just talk. I'll always talk. It's fine. Let's eat, you know? So you even when you save, you're saving like a 10%, you know? So you're not, when at the end of the 3 years or 4 years of the contract, you have a small,
very small,
compared to what people are saying, but you earned X amount of money. Where did it go? In keeping up appearances, of course. You want to drive like this, you want to walk like this, dress like this. But I think that's why I'm also very passionate about finances on my channel, because I'm like, guys, when you're younger, like the things I wish I'd accumulated when I was younger, that now I'd be bowling, but you're like, it's fine. But now I'm trying to say, okay, so you learned how to price for cakes, but as an influencer, that's just you.
No, that's just me. I'm even learning how to negotiate contracts, guys. I'm even learning how to just negotiate, because now I sit. Luckily enough, I have a few friends that I talk to. I have 2 people I talk to when it comes to negotiating contracts. I'll tell them, Gil, Mazo, there's this contract. What do you think about it? This is what they're
asking for.
This is what they have said, and this is what they want. Do you think like, no, this is what they're offering. Tell them to adjust their KPIs. Tell them to do this. So now I have 2 friends I talk to about contracts, and I'm assured that they will, and they know how to negotiate these things. So they guide me, and they've taught me how to be better in negotiating. Good. Now, the money for influencing, really, let me tell you guys, it's only this year, at the start of the year, that I realized you're playing in this thing.
And yet it could be.
Because I started influencing 2 years ago, but last year, the whole of last year is when I can say that I really made some serious, extremely serious money, because I was working for some really big companies.
No, also your value. Because don't take it that it's them paying just a higher amount. They're paying for value. And they're seeing value in Fiza. Yes. So,
but you see now, there's that shock.
You think I'm worth this money? We've been there. We've all been there. Yeah. You're like, maybe they're asking for something else. You know, because for you, you're like, this is a lot of money. But you know, you can actually earn your radio salary with just 1 gig.
You're like, wait, for all I can do this for paying this much money? And then there's a company that was even paying me in dollars. I'm like, wait, all this money? And they just want 2 videos?
You're like, I'm above currency at this point.
I'm like, wait, they're paying this much money for me to just put out 1 post. So now, that's when you sit down and you say, now let me start looking at this as a business. It's no longer a hobby and a set. Because how I joined influencing is also funny, you know?
Someone just said do it.
No, I was seated with guys. I was interning at this company. I was seated with these guys, and I said that they have a list of influencers. That's when I was even introduced to the idea of digital influencers. I see people's names and I see the money they are making. I'm like, wait, people are paid?
What are they doing
for this? So I asked guys, so what is this exactly? He explains that this is what they do. And I said, okay. Can I join this? And one of the influencers guide starts showing me how, you know, to make, how basically to become a digital influencer. He even got me my first gig.
Oh, God, bless you.
From there, I started getting serious, because normally once I invest myself in something, I really take, like, I'm all in. Even though I may not think so much about the money, like, I'm all in. Now, slowly companies are seeing what you're doing, and when they onboard you for them, they have seen more than for you what you're seeing for yourself.
That's what I told you. They'll shock you. They're like, this is my value? Wow, okay.
So now they're paying me all this money, and the money is accumulating on the account. And because for you, it's first of all, when they pay and they tell you, okay, you've seen a notification, 1 point this 2 point what has been paid. Hey, you're like, guys, you know what? First, let's go out and enjoy this.
Imagine. Let's go party.
So,
no.
Last year, I sat down and I said, okay, one of the reasons why you probably don't even spend the influencing money seriously is because it's your salary that is paying your rent, that's paying your food, and it's paying for these other basic needs that you have. And so this money, you look at it as...
It finds you free.
Yeah, it finds you like stress-free. So then I said, you know what, all the salary is now going to go to a company circle. Okay. So I'm no longer seeing any of that money. It's going to a company circle.
Nice. Are you just saying that because you don't want to waste the money, or because it's an actual goal?
Because now I want to invest as much money as possible into the baking business. Okay. I have some serious... There's a way there's a way you picture your things in your mind. There's a way I pictured my cupcake bar. Okay? There's a picture in it. I have like a Pinterest folder full of the things I want it to look like. So I said, for me to actually make this happen,
Yeah.
I have to be serious. You know, I don't have anyone who's going to give me this money. So I need to so all the salary now goes to a company circle. And that's because that circle, they invest that money and their decisions.
It grows.
Yes, it grows. Then the other money, I said, now influencing money has to start being serious. When you get it, you now have at the back of your mind the responsibilities. I have to pay for this, and this has to be done. So now that money, as you get it, you're now distributing to people's account to pay what you need to pay.
Wow.
Okay, and these were decisions, guys. I won't lie to you. I made early this year.
Recently, yeah. So don't feel like, hey, Mama Fiza.
They went into effect this year, January.
And let me tell you, you're going to go through a phase where now, even the value for which you earn, you're increasing it. You know? And you'll even send away certain money. You know, now you're at a phase where like, Abliaja, you come. I will take every money.
Now, that's an interesting also thing that happened when it came to influencing.
Yeah.
When I just started out, I was literally everywhere, you know.
Whoever has money.
If you come, you bring your KPIs, your budget, we see we see what we can do, okay? But after sitting down and having a conversation with my friend Mazo, he says, you know what, you have a brand. Yeah. The brand has to speak to something, and it has to have a perception that when people see, it has to be clear. Yes. So where are you heading with this thing? Like, you just want to have everyone paying you money. And I'm like, but you know, I have these bills, and you know, this money is really sweet. He's like, he's like, I know, but you now have to be serious. It's a brand. So do you want people to just see you everywhere, plastered everywhere? So now even that is something I've come to realize. And now along the way, when someone comes to me and I tell them, this is not for me, this may not be for me, I tell them.
It's a hard one, eh?
And you see, it's last year that I started telling some brands honestly that I may not be able to give you this. Yeah. So you may want me and you have your money, but I may not be able to give you this. It's when I started also just being straightforward, honest with clients. Good. That you want us to do this, it's kawa, by the way, can do it, but you know, you may not get value for what you're paying for. Because I realized if you were serious about this, you need to start being honest and being very, very clear with your clients so that they see some value. So that at the end of the day, say, at least for her, she gave us some knowledge along the way. True. Because in influencing, you discover that many people want to dive into that field of marketing, but they don't know much about it. Yeah.
Also, or your brand persona as an influencer. And they like you. For what? You know, they have to do the why. Why are you? No, but I like that. I also like, and you don't take it lightly, you have support. Yes. You have that support that is there to tell you this is not the right direction to go. This is the right direction to go. But would you change anything about how you've grown in your financial journey? Yes, I'll definitely change a lot of things. Yeah. I'll definitely change a lot of things. One is that to even have more investments. Okay. Recently this year I just recently decided to start reading a little bit about stock marketing, and that's after an interview I had on radio. You know, you're like, hey, these things are this guy came to talk about stock. You know, this company just giving people the option to buy stock in different companies. Yeah. Like, okay. So he explains it and so nicely, and I'm like, you see, this guy has sold me this idea. So I went onto social media and put out a post and asked guys, is there anyone who's like, very knowledgeable in this kind of thing? I would like to talk to them, because I believe before you jump into anything, you had better information. I love information. Yes, you better know what you're going in for, and you're well equipped with information. So this guy, and someone actually came to my DM, shared their blog and shared some information, which I'm reading just to understand what it is that I want to invest in. You know, it's nice when you're investing in a place where you don't have to, actively be there carrying things or anything, like physically doing things. Money is growing, but it's there. Yeah. Everyone needs some passive income at some point. Yeah. Yes. I think for me, when I was younger, I would have just wanted to know the whole, you know what we do with the 50, 30, 20, where it's just percentages. This money is for eating, this money is for saving, this money is for this. Why? Because you don't feel the guilt when you're spending money. Thank you. Because you're like, I already put aside this. But when you're eating 100%, even you when it's reducing, you're about to get to the last 100,000. You're starting to feel fever. You're like, oh gosh, now I have to go make money. But also, do you notice a difference now when you're wiser with your money in how you negotiate in terms of you're not hungry? The bills don't define you. Definitely. Because when you have a bill of 100,000, you just... Even if the gig was supposed to be for 1 million, you will take the 100,000. Yeah. I'm more confident now when I negotiate contracts. I tell them what I can do and I tell them what I cannot do. When you're desperate, you even assure people of things you may not be able to do. Let me tell you guys, like you start promising people everything. Oh my gosh. I'll do it. Anything you want.
This one we can achieve it, but then now that you're not thinking strictly about money, you know that what you can do and what you cannot do. You're telling people the reality of what you can give them, and along the way you're learning as well. So I have to say that thing has worked well for me. That things I'm definitely changing.
I'm glad. So there are people watching, and I'm not even going to say young people because some of you are old enough, but let's just say you're not there, and no judgment. But if you were to just sort of go back in time and just tell them, these are the things, foolproof things I think you should do, or a starting place, you know, because we all can't just get to 100 million, 10 million in a day, but things you think everyone can start to put in place now with your experience to just get them to the other place.
I think the first thing that I can say is foolproof is learn. Read and learn as much as possible. Information is everything. When I wanted to start baking, I definitely went to a school. I could have continued watching YouTube. Chef Raphael, but even I knew he was in another country.
Chef Raphael
He was in another country, you know, but I paid for a school. So what you can first of all get yourself equipped with information. I want to invest now in stocks, so I'm reading up on it, you know, to get to understand how to be careful with it and to know that I'm getting into something, because it's an area where people are being scammed, so you have to be careful.
There's risk.
So there is that. One, get equipped with information, skills. Gain as many skills as you can. Okay, like I said, I'm trying to look up for a course where I can do some business management. Get to understand now how to actually manage a business side now, because I'm doing it, but in a very where I don't like. It's in a very
honest. Whatever is happening now, you don't like it.
It's a very funny way of doing it, so I don't really like it. Okay, I need to know what I'm doing. You don't like gambling along the way. So one, get yourself equipped with skills, as many as possible, especially in line with what you want to do. I'm not saying go. Meaning
have something you want to do.
You know you want to do this? Please equip yourself. And something I learned about skills on social media. Hillary said, when you want to learn maybe you want to get into a specific sector, sometimes just volunteer. Just say, okay, guys.
Don't go. How much are they paying me?
Just
say, this. I'm giving this time for this skill.
When you volunteer, you get to learn the actual business. You get to learn the actual challenges, and then you know how your working plan. How am I going to do when I get in there? So that minimizes even the money you might lose when you get into a business. Like that.
So volunteer in these spaces you want to eventually be in. Yeah.
Not just businesses, but even companies that you'd like, you know, a sector that you want to get in. Volunteer as much as possible. Start being intentional about money. I have this mentor, by the way, who keeps telling me you have to be intentional. But I think intentional, I learned it last year.
You were hearing it, but it resonated last year.
About money. Because now you're getting serious about who you want to be a few years from now. You've seen yourself, by the way, ahead. You know,
interest dreams.
Do you know that many of us have seen ourselves 5 years ahead?
Let me tell you that at 16, you're like, people who are 20, you're so old. Then you get to 20, you're like, people who are 30, you're so old. You get to 30, you're like, call me at 50. So, yeah. Time.
It's funny, but we have seen who want to be ahead.
Absolutely.
You know, you have those conversations. By the way,
I will do this.
You know, but how are you going to get that money? Do you know that? So you have seen yourself ahead. Ladies, you have your Pinterest folders. You know that. Your Instagram folders. You know how you want your life, either your life to look like, either business or career. You know how you want it to look like. So you have to be intentional. And the first thing to be intentional about is money. The next thing is to be intentional is your character. And the next thing is consistency. I've learned, let me tell you, last year that consistency is everything.
Small, Faiza, as long as you keep going. Going.
Consistency is everything. It seems funny, but I learned it. And I learned it after a relationship also failed.
Relationships teach us a lot. Money teaches us.
You know, after a relationship failed, I said, man, consistency is actually... It may seem like a very easy thing when you start a job. Even there's a time I go to you know, we say we love some of the things we get into. Even radio, I'm passionate about it. But consistency keeps you going even the days you don't want to get up. There's a point where, by the way, I was like, man, today I don't want to get up. I don't want to go on air at 5
in the morning. Meanwhile,
like, man, but consistency, you know that this is the person. First of all, you know this is who you are. This is what people know you for, and they know that you never fail. You're reliable.
So you have to
show up. You know that there are people who tune in every day to listen to you, and they just want to hear you say something about this or that. So this people, you say, I have to be consistent for them. So you get up. You're consistent for your bills, my friend.
You're consistent for your problems. If not for anyone, for your problems. I like that. I like that.
That problems will choke you, my friend.
No.
And you know, you're consistent for yourself. It can't be you failing. You have to tell yourself that.
And also, if you failed before, you said, but not me, every year.
First of all, you're seeing other people are leveling up. You're seeing that, you know, and it's also, you're consistent for those people who believe in you.
Yeah.
You know, there are people who see you way further ahead than you see yourself. They see some.
Even those friends who are telling you, Faiza, don't do this. Your brand is like this.
Those guys see
They've already looked at you and they're like, do you not know who you are?
Those guys see some weird value in me that sometimes
no,
even
weird. It is the value.
Like, wow.
It is.
Yes,
you
but
know?
when you see that, you realize
Later, don't worry. You'll get there.
You
Guys, I feel like we asked for just a little bit and we got something amazing from Fiza. Give her all the love in the comments section. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Hopefully when we invite her again, she'll be like with a cupcake bar, like, you know, like in
I'll
different
invite you guys.
locations,
Yes.
you know, and we'll see those Pinterest dreams come alive.
Yes.
Bye.